time of 2:03.961. Good effort, but I'm expecting them to really push the envelope in the next few laps.
Yeah, it's about building that momentum, Rob. Fine-tuning their approach with each turn, each lap, getting more out of the car and themselves.
Chris Ilduke is rolling out for the first sniff of the track. It's all about feeling the car, the tarmac, and getting the mind in the zone.
Absolutely, Rob. The outlap is like the opening chapter of a book. Sets the tone for the whole story. They'll be checking how the car's responding, getting a real feel for the conditions today at Oulton Park.
Reinhold Gartner has a best lap time of 1:54.379. There's the first flying lap for D-Max, hitting 1:59.885. It's a start, but they'll be looking to iron out those kinks as they get more laps under their belt.
Right on, Rob. It's early in the session, so there's plenty of time to experiment and find those extra tenths of a second.
Wayne Pearson is out there, taking it slow and steady on the outlap. This lap is like the calm before the storm, a moment of zen before pushing the limits.
That's right. It's about understanding the track's personality today. Each day, each lap can tell a different story, especially at a track like Oulton Park.
Mate, sometimes I reckon the pit wall looks like they're controlling a spaceship with all those dials and knobs.
You're not wrong. Each of those adjustments, from brake bias to differential settings, has a profound effect on car behavior. It's like tuning a guitar, but instead of strings, you're tweaking mechanical symphonies to get the car singing just right on the track.
Alright, D-Max has put down a 1:59.167. It's a decent benchmark, but I reckon there's more juice to squeeze out of that Lotus Cortina MK1.
For sure, Rob, it's early days. They're just starting to sync up with the track. We'll likely see those times tumble as they dial in.
Rob Keane is not hanging about, straight into the thick of it on this first flying lap. They're getting a real taste of the Lotus Cortina MK1's capabilities.
Absolutely. It's about understanding the limits early on. You'll see them experimenting with braking points and turn-in speeds, all while keeping an eye on those tire temps.
Watch as Serato takes it nice and easy on this outlap. It's not just about warming up the tires, it's about getting into that mental pit lane, tuning into the race mindset.
For sure, Rob. They're calibrating everything Euro, the brakes, the steering, the throttle response. It's a crucial part of laying down the groundwork for a successful practice session.
Rob Keane is really opening up the taps now, their first flyer of the session. This is where we start to see what Lotus Cortina MK1 has got under the hood.
That's right, Rob. They're shaking off the cobwebs and really starting to push. It's all about finding that sweet spot between speed and control on the circuit.
Eddie G has a best lap time of 1:55.029. Infinity is on their first practice flying lap. Look at Sunoiler go, they're really giving it some jandle now. The first flyer is always a bit of a reconnaissance mission, a mix of caution and raw pace.
You bet, Rob. They're mapping out the track, feeling out the grip levels, and getting a sense of how the car's performing today. It's a crucial lap for building confidence.
It's a bit like looking for water in the outback. These drivers are searching for that sweet rhythm, where everything just clicks.
Spot on, it's that elusive flow state. When everything syncs up, the car, the track, the driver, that's when magic happens.
So, for those tuning in and wondering what's the go with these practice sessions, well, it ain't just about flexing their engines. It's about synergy, mate. Getting the driver, the car, and the track to sing in harmony.
Couldn't have put it better. We liken it to rehearsing a dance. Every step, every turn must be practiced until it's second nature on the big stage.
Look at Joe Ergu taking it nice and easy, a smart move. Like a chess player contemplating the opening move, they're planning several steps ahead.
Spot on. They're mentally mapping each corner, each straight. It's not just about the car, it's about strategy and foresight.
Eddie G posted a 1:57.261 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Reinhold Gartner's first flyer is a solid start, clocking in at 155.116. They're getting a feel for the track, but there's room to shave off a few more seconds.
Absolutely, Rob. It's all about finding those little tweaks, adjusting the line here, braking a tad later there. Every lap is a learning curve.
Eddie G posted 157.261 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Sunoiler crosses the line with their first flyer, clocking a 154.320. They're getting to grips with Oulton Park, feeling out its quirks and corners.
It's like the first round of a chess match, Rob. They're making their opening moves, setting up for the later, faster laps where they'll really show their hand.
There's the first flying lap for Eddie G, hitting 155.325. It's a start, but they'll be looking to iron out those kinks as they get more laps under their belt.
Right on, Rob. It's early in the session, so there's plenty of time to experiment and find those extra tenths of a second.
Ever heard the pit crew chat about wheel camber? Sounds like a dance move, but trust me, it's all car talk.
Haha, yeah, camber is the angle of the wheel relative to the road. A bit of negative camber, where the top of the tire leans inwards, can give more grip in the corners. With too much and you're looking at premature wear on the inside of the tire. It's a balancing act, and each track requires its own setting.
You ever think about what's ticking inside a driver's noggin during these laps?
All the time, it's a mix of analyzing, strategizing, and adapting. Every corner, every straight is a puzzle, and they're trying to solve it at full speed.
Renault Per 99's first serious lap is in the books with a time of 153.383. Good effort, but I'm expecting them to really push the envelope in the next few laps.
Yeah, it's about building that momentum, Rob. Fine-tuning their approach with each turn, each lap, getting more out of the car and themselves.
Alright, Cerato has put down a 153.444. It's a decent benchmark, but I reckon there's more juice to squeeze out of that Lotus Cortina MK1.
For sure, Rob, it's early days. They're just starting to sync up with the track. We'll likely see those times tumble as they dial in.
Wayne Pearson posted a 154.436 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Sunoiler has a best lap time of 1:52.919. Infinity posted 3:00.327 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Joe Yu is getting to grips with the Lotus Cortina MK1 in this practice session. Infinity crosses the line with their first flyer, clocking a 3:00.327. They're getting to grips with Oulton Park, feeling out its quirks and corners.
It's like the first round of a chess match, Rob. They're making their opening moves, setting up for the later, faster laps where they'll really show their hand.
You know, mate, watching these practice sessions, you think the driver just jumps in and goes. But there's a heck of a lot more to it. Starting with that aero package, the balance between drag and downforce.
Oh, for sure. You tweak the front wing just a smidge, and you could have a totally different beast on your hands. Depending on the track, they might want more downforce for those tight corners or reduce it for the long straights to maximize speed.
There's the first flying lap for Joe Yu, hitting 1:56.454. It's a start, but they'll be looking to iron out those kinks as they get more laps under their belt.
Right on, Rob. It's early in the session, so there's plenty of time to experiment and find those extra tenths of a second.
With just 199 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. Puppy Dog from Hell has a best lap time of 1:53.883. Chris Ilduke's first serious lap is in the books with a time of 1:54.606. Good effort, but I'm expecting them to really push the envelope in the next few laps.
Yeah, it's about building that momentum, Rob. Fine-tuning their approach with each turn, each lap, getting more out of the car and themselves.
Alright, Renault 99 has put down a 153.002. It's a decent benchmark, but I reckon there's more juice to squeeze out of that Lotus Cortina MK1.
For sure, Rob, it's early days. They're just starting to sync up with the track. We'll likely see those times tumble as they dial in.
D-Max posted 10:36.019 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Eddie G posted a 5:58.556 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Let's talk rubber. Tire pressures ain't just about pumping them up and hitting the road. It's like a fine art.
Couldn't have said it better. Tire pressures can dramatically impact the contact patch, the actual bit of tire touching the tarmac. Too high and you lose temperature and grip, too low, and you risk overheating, uneven wear or even a blowout. Each tire will have its own sweet spot where they grip best.
You know, mate, some folks wonder why these drivers spend so much time in practice. But it's just like prepping a barbie, you gotta get it right before the big show.
Exactly, Rob, practice makes perfect, and in racing, perfect can be the difference between pole position and the back of the grid.
D-Max has a best lap time of 1:58.976. With just 193 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. There's the first flying lap for Renault 99, hitting 1:52.420. It's a start, but they'll be looking to iron out those kinks as they get more laps under their belt.
Right on, Rob. It's early in the session, so there's plenty of time to experiment and find those extra tenths of a second.
Puppy Dog from Hell's First Flyer is a solid start, clocking in at 155.355. They're getting a feel for the track, but there's room to shave off a few more seconds.
Absolutely, Rob. It's all about finding those little tweaks, adjusting the line here, braking a tad later there. Every lap is a learning curve.
Richard Rossier's first serious lap is in the books with a time of 156.760. Good effort, but I'm expecting them to really push the envelope in the next few laps.
Yeah, it's about building that momentum, Rob. Fine-tuning their approach with each turn, each lap, getting more out of the car and themselves.
D-Max has a best lap time of 158.591. Now, here's a term some might not be familiar with: roll bar stiffness. Sounds technical, doesn't it?
It does, but in essence, it's about how the car reacts to lateral forces, especially during cornering. Adjusting the roll bar can change how the car behaves mid-corner. A softer setting can be more forgiving, but a stiffer one might give the driver a quicker response, albeit with less margin for error.
These practices, mate, they're like a kangaroo finding its best hop. Once you've got it, you're unstoppable.
Couldn't have put it better. Finding the perfect launch is all about repetition and adjustments.
Renault Per 99 crosses the line with their first flyer, clocking at 215.894. They're getting to grips with Oulton Park, feeling out its quirks and corners.
It's like the first round of a chess match, Rob. They're making their opening moves, setting up for the later, faster laps where they'll really show their hand.
Chris Ilduke posted at 215.372 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Eddie G posted 154.792 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? With just 188 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. Alright, Cerato has put down a 2:17.497. It's a decent benchmark, but I reckon there's more juice to squeeze out of that Lotus Cortina MK1.
For sure, Rob, it's early days. They're just starting to sync up with the track. We'll likely see those times tumble as they dial in.
Eddie G's first serious lap is in the books with a time of 1:54.214. Good effort, but I'm expecting them to really push the envelope in the next few laps.
Yeah, it's about building that momentum, Rob. Fine-tuning their approach with each turn, each lap, getting more out of the car and themselves.
Wayne Pearson has a best lap time of 1:53.256. Renault Per 99 crosses the line with their first flyer, clocking a 1:56.187. They're getting to grips with Oulton Park, feeling out its quirks and corners.
It's like the first round of a chess match, Rob. They're making their opening moves, setting up for the later, faster laps where they'll really show their hand.
Mate, these drivers aren't just burning rubber for the fun of it. They're chasing the ghost, that perfect lap that's always just out of reach.
Absolutely. Back in my racing days, I used to call it chasing the dragon. It's that feeling when you know there's still a little more in the tank, a fraction of a second to be found.
Reinhold Gartner has a best lap time of 1:52.612. Wayne Pearson's first flyer is a solid start, clocking in at 1:53.314. They're getting a feel for the track, but there's room to shave off a few more seconds.
Absolutely, Rob. It's all about finding those little tweaks, adjusting the line here, braking a tad later there. Every lap is a learning curve.
With just 183 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. Puppy Dog from Hell posted 1:53.521 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? It's time to separate the contenders from the pretenders here at Oulton Park, as the drivers rev up their engines and put their skills to the test in the qualifying session.
I think there's a few drivers out there who have the pace to stick in on pole.
Puppy Dog from Hell is on their outlap.
They will want to get a good gap established for their first flying lap.
Impressive work from Sunoiler, who has claimed third on the grid. Now, the focus is on maintaining their composure and pushing for an even better starting position.
You hit the nail on the head, Rob. Sunweiler's current position of third is a testament to their skill and determination. Now, they must stay sharp to make the most of this opportunity.
A solid performance from Jack M team as they currently hold position 2. However, with the session coming to a close, they'll need to find that extra bit of speed if they want to move up the grid. Disappointing performance from Puppy Dog from Hell in this qualifying session. Currently in 11th position, they'll need to dig deep and find some extra speed to climb up the leaderboard and secure a better starting position for the race.
Absolutely, Rob. Puppy Dog from Hell is facing a challenging situation, but they have the skill and determination to turn things around. It's not over until the checkered flag, and they still have a chance to improve their result.
A dominant display by Rob in this qualifying session. They have put in a stunning lap time and find themselves at the top of the leaderboard. The other drivers will have their work cut out to match their speed and claim that pole position.
I share your thoughts, Rob. Rob is currently untouchable with their outstanding performance. They have raised the bar, and their competitors have a tough challenge ahead to catch up.
Rob has completed their outlap. Impressive display by Sunweiler has completed their outlap. There are just over 10 minutes. Richard Rossier has completed their outlap. There are just over 10 minutes left in. Eddie G has completed their outlap. There are just over 10 minutes left in this qualification session. D-Max has completed their outlap. There are just over 10 minutes left in this qualification session. Reinhold Gartner has completed their outlap. There are just over 10 minutes left in this qualification session. Keane has completed their first flying lap in 150.793. Infinity has secured a respectable second in the qualifying session. Can they capitalize on this position and use it as a launching pad for it? Infinity has just completed a lap in 151.291. Let's see if they can improve on that time further. It's an impressive showing by Puppy Dog from Hell, currently in 8th. They've showcased their talent, but will they be able to find those crucial extra tenths of a second to climb higher?
You're spot on, Rob. Puppy Dog from Hell's current position of 8th is a testament to their skills and determination. Now, they face the challenge of maintaining their position against hungry.
Puppy Dog from Hell has just completed that lap in 153.911. Their best lap so far is 153.911, putting them in P8. Will they be able to hold on to that spot? It's been a struggle for D-Max in qualifying. Zhou Yu has completed their first flying lap in 154.328. A strong showing from Zhou Yu as Jack M team has completed their outlap. A solid qualifying performance by Jack M team, positioning them in 6th at the moment. The question now is whether they can make further progress and challenge the frontrunners.
Spot on analysis, Rob. Jack M team has positioned themselves well in 6th. It's now crucial for them to maintain their focus and defend their position in the upcoming race.
And there goes Eddie G, currently in position 9. They've shown great skill and consistency so far, but with a few minutes left, there's still time to improve their result. Incredible performance by Keane so far. It's a stellar performance from Keane, clinching first.
They're in a great spot, Rob, but in qualifying, complacency can be your worst enemy. They need to keep pushing the limits while staying cool under pressure.
Currently in 4th, Richard Rossier has displayed promising speed during the qualifying session. With Richard Rossier now sitting pretty in 3rd, they have got to be feeling good.
True, but in the world of racing, good isn't always good enough. They've got to keep their eye on the prize and aim for perfection on every turn. Every fraction of a second counts. I am sure they can find a little extra in there.
It hasn't been the best qualifying session for Zhou Yu so far. They find themselves in 12th position, which is not where they had hoped to be. However, there's still time left on the clock, and they have the opportunity to make improvements.
You're absolutely right, Rob. Yu might be disappointed with their current position, but there's still time to make a difference. They'll need to remain composed, analyze the data, and push themselves to the limit to improve.
With Zhou Yu clocking a 152.722, they've got themselves a mountain to climb, stuck in 7th.
They're not out of the fight yet, Rob, but it's gonna take some serious wheel work to make up that gap. The clock's ticking, and they need to make every lap count from here on out.
Reinhold Gartner has positioned themselves well in 8th during qualifying. The challenge now is to assess their competitors and strategize how to move up the order for a better race start.
I completely agree, Rob. Reinhold Gartner has positioned themselves impressively in 8th. However, it's crucial for them to keep pushing to potentially improve their starting position.
There are just over 5 minutes left in this qualification session. There's a real buzz in the air as Rob always Keane secures first.
Right you are, Rob. They've put themselves in a solid spot, but they can't let up now. Staying smooth and focused is key to shaving off those extra fractions. It may be difficult for them to improve further on that. Sometimes trying too hard makes you slower. They need to drive smooth and smart.
There are just over 5 minutes left in this qualification session. There are just over 5 minutes left in this qualification session. A solid performance from Sunoiler as they currently hold position 5. However, with the session coming to a close, they'll need to find that. Looks like Sunoiler is making a statement, securing a spot in 4th.
Yep, Rob, but there's always room for improvement. Smooth, consistent laps might just be the key to climbing even higher before this session wraps up.
Reinhold Gartner has put in a great effort and currently holds 8th. With the session winding down, can they unleash their full potential and improve their starting position?
I couldn't agree more, Rob. Reinhold Gardner has done a fantastic job to claim 8th. The challenge now is to convert this opportunity into a strong race result.
Incredible drive by Eddie G so far, earning them 10th on the grid. However, the competition is fierce. Will they be able to find that extra edge to move up?
Great analysis, Rob. Eddie G has shown excellent pace to secure 10th. Now, the focus shifts to whether they can use their track position to their advantage in the race.
Impressive work from Reinhold Gardner, who has claimed 8th on the grid. Now, the focus is on maintaining their composure and pushing for an even better starting position.
Couldn't agree more, Rob. Reinhold Gardner has positioned themselves impressively in 8th. Now, they need to build on this foundation and strive for an even better race result.
I'm thinking Reinhold Gardner could benefit from tweaking their tyre strategy. That last lap at 152.060 isn't cutting it for 6th. A switch to a softer compound might give them the edge they need.
Spot on, Rob. A softer tire could provide that extra grip, but they'll have to manage tire wear carefully. It's a risky play, but it might just pay off.
A strong showing from Joe Ergu as they currently sit in 8th. With the session drawing to a close, they'll need to dig deep and find that extra burst of speed to improve. Impressive display by Sunoiler, currently sitting in position 5. They've set a competitive time, but the question remains whether they can push even harder to secure a better starting position.
Absolutely, Rob. Sunoiler has shown great potential to secure 5th. It's now a matter of channeling that momentum into a strong performance during the race.
Richard Rossier has secured a respectable 7th in the qualifying session. Can they capitalize on this position and use it as a launching pad for a stronger race performance? A disappointing performance from Eddie G so far in this qualifying session. Finding themselves in 11th position is certainly not what they were aiming for. However, they have the talent and experience to bounce back and salvage a better result.
I completely agree, Rob. Eddie G is in a difficult position, but they have the opportunity to analyze their performance so far and make the necessary adjustments. It's all about regrouping and giving their best shot in the remaining time.
And there goes Richard Rossier, currently in position 7. They've shown great skill and consistency so far, but with a few minutes left, there's still time to improve their result. Richard Rossier will be happy having put themselves into 4th in this qualifying session.
Every fraction of a second counts. I am sure they can find a little extra in there.
It's an impressive showing by Zhou Yu, currently in 8th. They've showcased their talent, but will they be able to find those crucial extra tenths of a second to climb higher? Seems like Zhou Yu's struggling to find the sweet spot with their Lotus Cortina MK1. Sitting in 8th with a time of 2:01.716, they might want to consider adjusting the suspension setup for better handling.
Yeah, tuning the suspension could improve cornering stability, Rob. It's all about finding that balance between agility and stability on a technical track like this.
The circus has come to Great Britain, and we're all in for a treat today. Oulton Park is a track that always delivers.
The conditions are perfect for racing today. I think we're going to see some incredible performances from the drivers on this iconic circuit.
Rob Hal will have the best seat in the house starting from pole position.
But they will have to be smart about their moves. They must not burn out too early.
Infinity will begin the race from the second spot on the starting grid. Renault 99 is third.
I think we are all looking forward to seeing what Renault 99 can do from here.
Richard Rossier lines up in fourth place as the engines rev and the race begins. And in fifth place, we have Jack M Team.
They are in a good place to mount a good challenge come the first corner.
As the engines roar to life, Sunoiler prepares to take off from the sixth position on the starting grid. Starting from the seventh position, Reinhold Gartner will need to navigate through the field to challenge for the win.
They would have liked to be higher up, but that's not going to stop Reinhold Gartner fighting their way through.
Joe Yu is going to be starting from 8th. From the middle of the pack, we have Wayne Pearson in 9th place on the starting grid. The 10th starting position belongs to Serato, who will be looking to make up ground early on.
The Irish driver has been driving the wheels off the Lotus Cortina Mk1 in practice.
Eddie G is in a solid position starting from 11th on the grid.
Eddie G won't be too disappointed with 11th.
Starting from 12th on the grid is a decent position for Puppy Dog from Hell, all things considered. The flag makes its descent, and our tale begins. Like a kangaroo in a pickup truck, it's a jolty start fraught with potential pitfalls.
This is where the true test of a driver's skill comes into play. It's all about finding the right line and carrying as much speed as possible through the turn.
The drivers will need to be precise and calculated if they want to make it through this section unscathed.
And with so many cars jostling for position, it's a real test of nerve as well. One wrong move and you could be out of the race before it even really gets started.
That's right. The pressure is really on these drivers to perform. The tension is palpable here. No one will want to make a crucial mistake on the first lap.
I'm really looking forward to seeing how this race unfolds.
Well, ain't that a slice of vanilla? Richard Rossi is sitting pretty right where they started. Comfy as a koala in a eucalyptus tree. As the drivers get this race underway, let me give a shout out to the admin team at AssettoCorsaFriends for making this all possible. Heroes one and all.
Let's hope they all brought their A games today.
Stone the crows. Serato's off like a bull at a gate. That's how you bloody do it.
Hot dang, Serato's off like a prom dress in spring. But we all know it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Settling into a rhythm is going to be crucial here. Joe Yu wants to get into D-Max slipstream.
To achieve anything in this game, you must be prepared to dabble in the boundary of disaster.
It's like David versus Goliath out there. Joe Yu just slung a stone and gained ground, while D-Max is left searching for footing. It's a battle of wills out there, each driver trying to outsmart and outmaneuver the other.
This battle between Rob and Renault 99 is so intense, you could cut the tension with a knife, or should I say, with a front wing.
This is what high-octane racing looks like. D-Max is breathing down the neck of Wayne Pearson, not giving him any room to relax.
And the drivers know it too, Rob. They're giving it everything they've got, and you can see them pushing the limits of the car's capabilities.
Gee whiz, Keane is breathing down Renault 99's neck. Wouldn't want to be in Renault 99's rearview mirror right now, it's getting crowded.
As a former driver, I can tell you there's nothing quite like the adrenaline rush when you're this close to your rival, ready to make your move.
The adrenaline is pumping as Sunoiler gets within striking distance of Jack M Team in their race for fourth. Hold on to your hats, folks. Richard Rossier is right on the heels of Sunoiler, and we're in for a wild ride. Sunoiler has the pedal to the metal chasing Jack M team.
There is no room for error in this battle.
This is what it's all about, folks. Renault per 99 is in hot pursuit of Rob Always Keen, who's just trying to stay ahead. Hold on a moment. Oh dear, Toxoff 22 has had an incident. Get ready, folks. With Sunoiler tailing this close to Jack M team, Denton's is about to become a hotspot.
That's right, Sunoiler is determined to pass Jack M team and secure a higher position.
Oh, this is getting intense. Jorg Yu is just behind Eddie G.
Hold on to your hats, folks. Jorg Yu is giving Eddie G a run for their money. Things are gonna get spicy as they round Cascades.
Now isn't this a show? Sunoiler's gotten the bit between their teeth, and they're reeling in Jack M team. Look at them weave and bob through Shell Oil's corner, folks. Cerato wants to find a way round Richard Rossier. Struth. Wayne Pearson's having a real dog's breakfast of a moment. This is where legends are made. Which driver will rise to the occasion and claim victory?
Now, that's some driving, y'all. Sunoiler is putting the pressure on Jack M team. It's like watching a cat stalk a bird. They're inching closer with every turn.
The fans are on the edge of their seats. It doesn't get any closer than this. The drivers have been working hard to come up with the perfect race strategy. They've been looking at the weather, the track conditions, and the performance of their cars.
Now it's time to put that strategy into action and see if it pays off.
We got a close battle as Sunoiler closes in on Jack M team. This is what racing is all about. Two fierce competitors pushing each other to the limit. Hold that thought. Hold the phone. Cerato's duffed it up. They're gonna need more than a Colby to forget that one. It's a thrilling pursuit as Sunoiler is right behind Jack M team, keeping the pressure on for 4th place.
That's right, Rob. The pressure is palpable. The fans are on the edge of their seats, waiting to see who will come out on top in this epic showdown.
Things are getting spicy as Puppy Dog from Hell is breathing down Chris Ilduke's neck. The gap? Mate, you couldn't slide a credit card between them. Oi! Puppy Dog from Hell's chassis balance is on point today. They're handling bumps and curbs smoother than a croc sliding into water. Chris Ilduke's got a battle ahead.
Holy smokes. Puppy Dog from Hell's extracting every ounce of horsepower from that power unit. They're tailing Chris Ilduke tighter than a belt after Thanksgiving dinner.
Now, that's what I'm talking about. Wayne Pearson is proper nipping at DMAX's heels. Are they thinking of making a lunge? Only time will tell. The action is non-stop as Puppy Dog from Hell shadows Chris Ilduke through every twist and turn, determined to claim 7th.
If this battle ends in tears, it could be like watching a high-speed domino effect, but let's hope they keep it clean and avoid any unplanned games.
It's like watching two predators circling each other, waiting for the perfect moment to pounce.
This is what separates the good from the great: the ability to stay focused and perform under pressure.
It's a game of inches now as Richard Rossier tails Eddie G closely, ready to capitalize on any mistake. It's a close race between Chris Ilduke and Puppy Dog from Hell in 7th. The intensity is off the charts as Richard Rossier hounds Eddie G, both drivers pushing themselves to the absolute limit.
Should things go awry, Richard Rossier and Eddie G might find themselves giving a whole new meaning to the term tandem drifting, though I doubt they'd enjoy it as much as the spectators.
The tension is palpable. Who will come out on top in this epic showdown?
It's going to be a close one. Chris Hill-Duck will have to push hard to create an opportunity.
Sunoiler wants to close the gap with Jack M team. Whoa there. Joe Ergue is sticking to Chris Il-Duke like glue. You reckon Chris Il-Duke's feeling the pressure? 'Cause I sure would.
A misjudgment by either driver could result in a close encounter of the tire barrier kind, and that's one handshake they'll want to avoid.
A great moment for Joe Ergue, who has just gained a place and moved up the standings. The tension is thick enough to cut with a knife. Richard Rossier is inching ever closer to Eddie G.
Looks like Richard Rossier has got more moves than a cowboy in a honky-tonk bar. Eddie G better watch out or he'll be two-step right off the track.
Mate, Sunoiler's right up Jack M team's chuff. As they zip through Shell Oil's corner, we're all expecting some fireworks.
Can they close up enough for a pass? I don't see it personally.
This is like the state of origin for Rob, going full tilt, gunning for the top, and not holding back.
And on my end, it's the Super Bowl vibes all over. Inches away from glory, and every move counts. Hold on to your hats, folks. This is racing at its finest.
Things are heating up as Sunoiler closes in on Jack M team. The gap between them is down to practically nothing. Sunoiler's playing hard to get, eh? If they drop the pace anymore, they'll be in reverse. But crikey, Jack M team's just raring to go. Blimey, Richard Rossier is closing in on Eddie G like they owe them money. This duel is going to light up Druid's corner. Buckle up. Eddie G is all over Puppy Dog from hell like a cheap suit. Are we about to see some wheel-to-wheel action? Bloody hell. Eddie's tearing up the tarmac and just snatched ninth. Makes you want to crack a cold one in celebration. Watching the drivers handle their cars is like watching a croc handler at a wildlife show. There's a finesse to it. But one wrong move, and you're in a world of hurt.
Oh, for sure. It's like trying to rope a bull in a rodeo. It looks easy from the stands, but up close, it's all about skill, timing, and knowing when it's about to let go.
It's neck and neck. The closest battle we've seen in a while.
Sunoiler is following Jack M team so closely, they could start charging them rent for occupying the same space on the track.
Hold on to your hats. Joe Ergue is gunning for Chris Il-Duke. Reckon we might see some cheeky moves on the next bend?
Honestly, Rob, with this chase, I'm half expecting to see some sneaky dive bombs in the next few laps. Popcorn ready?
It's an intense battle for position as Richard Rossier tries to outmaneuver Eddie G. This is edge of your seat racing. Alright, hold your horses. Serato is really putting the heat on Puppy Dog from hell. If I were Puppy, breaking news folks, looks like Chris Il-Duke tried the old dingo stole my race line trick. A tad too clever by half.
Yeehaw, Chris Il-Duke decided to do a little off-roading. Wrong event, partner.
It's a battle of wills out there. Each driver trying to outsmart and outmaneuver the other.
These two are putting on a masterclass in precision driving. Every turn, every acceleration, calculated to perfection.
You can feel the rumble from here. Rob's in the thick of it, and they're not letting go. It's a battle of wills, and only the strongest will come out on top.
Yeah, it's like the final lap of the Daytona 500. Pedal to the metal, eyes on the prize, and no room for error. This is what racing's all about.
This is what high-octane racing looks like. Sunoiler is breathing down the neck of Jack M team, not giving them any room to relax.
As an experienced driver, I can tell you that Sunoiler must be laser-focused on Jack M team's every move, looking for the slightest weakness to exploit.
No room for error here. Richard Rossier is breathing down the neck of Eddie G, waiting for the perfect chance to make their move. The gap between Sunoiler and Jack M team is razor thin as they vie for fourth in this nail-biting contest.
This is where the mental game comes into play. Who will keep their cool under pressure? Sunoiler or Jack M team? It's anyone's race.
Oh my, Sunoiler is hot on the tail of Jack M team. As they come into Deer Leap, I'm sure they may have a cheeky peek up the inside. G'day viewers. If you're just tuning in, you've picked a ripper of a moment. Rob is in second and they're tailgating the leader. This is edge of your seat stuff.
You bet, Rob. It's like the leader's got a drop bear in the rearview mirror, lurking, waiting for that perfect moment to drop. Rob is surely smelling opportunity here.
Gee whiz, Richard Rossier is breathing down Eddie's neck. Wouldn't want to be in Eddie's rearview mirror right now, it's getting crowded. And Richard Rossier has just won the place from Eddie G.
This race is heating up faster than a Barbie in summer. Richard Rossier's got that winning glint.
It's a dynamic landscape out there. Richard Rossier's shift to ninth is testament to that.
It's a nuanced game, isn't it? Richard Rossier's position change might very well be a part of a broader strategy.
Hold on to your hats, folks. Chris Ilduke is right on the heels of Wayne Pearson, and we're in for a wild ride. Reminds me of two wombats fighting for the best burrow. Close, intense, and unpredictable.
Oh, this is gripping. With every lap, Rob's drawing closer to that lead spot. They're both battling tire to tire.
If I were the leader, I'd be checking my mirrors every blink of an eye. The crowd is on its feet as Richard Rossier chases down Cerato through Clay Hill. Richard Rossier just blitzed past Cerato like they were standing still.
Go, go, go. That's what we want to see.
Here's the thing about racing. Sometimes, it's not just about speed. It's about pressure, mind games, and this, right here, is a masterclass from Rob. Sticking so close to the leader, making him constantly aware of the imminent threat.
Spot on. It's like a shark circling its prey. The leader knows it, we know it, and by the looks of it, Rob is ready for the kill.
The adrenaline is pumping as D-Max gets within striking distance of Wayne Pearson in their race for 13th. This is what it's all about, folks. Cerato is in hot pursuit of Richard Rossier, who's just trying to stay ahead. I reckon they've had a few secret lessons down under. Cerato's just breezed into 8th.
Man, if racing was a barbecue, Cerato just threw down the spiciest ribs. Up to 8th and sizzling.
It's as intense as a Barbie in midsummer out there for Rob. They've got their eyes on the prize and won't settle for second.
Exactly, Rob. It's like aiming for that home run in the bottom of the ninth. Swing for the fences, and don't look back.
You know, Wayne Pearson, if you were any slower, you'd be going backwards. But good on ya for making D-Max work for it. Struth. If D-Max gets any closer to Wayne Pearson, they'll be asking to share a meat pie. Watch them duel it out at the avenue. Not much room to breathe for Serrato with Richard Rossier trailing so close. I reckon we'll see a move soon, especially at Clay Hill. Mate, are they packing something extra down under? Oh no, what's this? Oi. Puppy Dog from Hell tried to pull a Steve Irwin and wrestle with the track limits. Track 1, Puppy Dog from Hell 0. The pursuit is on. Rob is closing the gap on Infinity, determined to claim P1. Chicane is not able to keep their pace consistent. So far they are 0.66 seconds down. With steely determination and laser focus, Jack M team is homing in on Sunoiler. The battle lines are drawn.
The stopwatch doesn't lie, and the shrinking gap is telling a tale of a hunter closing in on its prize.
You ever see a croc stalking its prey? That's the energy Rob's bringing right now. Ready to strike when the moment's right.
Kinda reminds me of a linebacker waiting for that perfect moment to make a game-changing tackle. The anticipation is intense, and Rob's not letting up.
Infinity is on fire in the last sector. And there it is. Infinity has completed the race in first place, setting a blistering pace that none of the other drivers could match. A nail-biting finish, but Rob claims second place. Excellent focus from Renault 99 to secure a fantastic third place on the podium.
Impressive driving to secure that spot.
Fourth, fifth, and sixth sees Sunoiler, Jack M team, and Reinhold Gartner. Followed by Joe Erg in seventh. Taking 8th is Richard Rossier. Serrato and Eddie G take 9th and 10th. Coming in 11th we have Puppy Dog from Hell. Finishing 12th is Chris Ilduke. Wayne Pearson and D-Max end in 13th and 14th. Fifteenth is Toxoff 22. Welcome to Great Britain, where the sun is shining and the engines are revving for today's race at Oulton Park.
You can feel the excitement building in the air. This is going to be a great race, and I'm looking forward to seeing the drivers push themselves to the limit on this challenging track.
Starting from pole position is the perfect place for Eddie G to launch an attack.
They'll be excited at their prospects for this race.
Serato will look to make a splash from the second position on the starting grid. Taking off from the third grid slot is the skilled driver, Richard Rossier.
I'm sure Richard Rossier will be expecting to bring home solid points from here.
Our fourth place starter for today's race is none other than Joe Yu. In fifth place, we have Reinhold Gartner.
Reinhold Gartner is looking on for a strong result.
In the middle of the pack, we have Jack M Team starting from the sixth position on the grid.
Lining up in the mid-pack.
Sunoiler is placed in seventh.
We've not seen the best from Sunoiler yet.
On the eighth grid slot, we have Renopa 99.
Expect some battling with Rob Keane.
Starting from ninth on the grid is a good position for Rob Keane to launch an attack.
An opportunity for some good points today, but the others aren't going to make it easy.
Infinity will be looking to gain ground quickly as they start from 10th on the grid.
Puppy Dog from Hell isn't going to make it easy to get through the pack.
Starting from 11th on the grid is a bit of a mixed bag for Puppy Dog from Hell.
We've seen great results from here. What has Puppy Dog from Hell got in store for us?
Chris Ilduke may not be starting from pole, but they're still in with a shot.
They have
such alacrity, the race has unfurled. This initial gambit is where strategies will either flourish or falter.
With hearts racing and engines roaring, they've got to be smarter than the average bear to navigate this here minefield.
Now, isn't that a sight? Chris Ilduke hanging tight at 12. Maybe they're waiting for everyone else to make their move. Smart as a whip, that one. You know, they say, steady as she goes, and that's exactly what Joe Yu's doing. Holding on to 4, maybe they've got a trick or two up their sleeve for later. I can't wait to see how this race will play out.
All the drivers will be jostling for the best position Rob. Some of them may not make it to the second lap in one piece.
Fair dinkum. DMAX is tearing up the track like they're late for a barbie, climbing the ranks like nobody's business. Well, slap me with a kangaroo tail. Rob's chucked AUEY on the leaderboard, going up faster than beer prices on a Friday night.
That's one way to make a statement, alright. But let's see if they've got the grit to hold on.
They say the early bird catches the worm, and Chris Ilduke is proving it today, snatching up positions right from the get-go. Great driving from Chris Ilduke, who has just gained a place and moved up to 8th. You know, Rob, these pit stops always amaze me. Just a few seconds, and they change tyres, refuel, adjust settings. It's like a well-choreographed dance.
Absolutely, and the precision. One slight misstep, and it could cost the race. It's an art and a testament to the pit crew's relentless training and coordination.
This is where legends are made. Which driver will rise to the occasion and claim victory? It's pedal to the metal for Eddie G, while Jack M Team's still flipping through the radio channels.
You see, it's moments like these that separate the champs from the chumps.
Wait, looks like Puppy Dog from Hell is coming into the pits early. Now is that to serve a penalty, or have they picked up some damage during the start? Oh, this is getting intense. Sunoiler is just behind Joe Yu.
Should things go south between Sunoiler and Jorg Yu, we might witness a high-speed game of bumper cars, but trust me, it's way less fun with real race cars.
Coming into Britain's the fight. Sorry to cut in here. Looks like Puppy Dog from Hell's playing in the dirt. Took me back to when I tried rallying in my mum's old sedan. Good times, expensive repairs.
Dang, Puppy Dog from Hell went off like my sense of self-worth after my high school reunion. And just as hard to recover.
Things are getting spicy as Sunoiler is breathing down Joe Ergu's neck. The gap? Mate, you couldn't slide a credit card between them. As the race settles down, the drivers are really going at it.
It's like watching a high-speed game of chess. One wrong move and it could be game over. But these drivers are masters of their craft, always thinking 3 steps ahead.
That's right. And with the way they're maneuvering those cars, it's like they have superpowers.
It's almost like they have the power of flight. But instead of flying, they're speeding down the track like rockets.
I wonder if they have any spare rocket boosters for sale. Breaking news, folks. Talk about going walkabout on the track. Richard Rossier's off on a little bush adventure at Oulton Park, aren't they?
If Richard Rossier's trying to embody my self-esteem during puberty with that swerve, spot on. Just spot on.
As the laps wind down, the hunt intensifies. Sunoiler is lurking, ready to unleash an overtaking masterclass on Joe Ergu.
The gap between them is now just over 0.7 seconds. Who will come out on top?
Blimey, Sunoiler's cranking up the downforce, making every newton of force count. That gap's shrinking faster than my wallet at the pub. By the looks of it, Richard Rossier in 6th is keen to throw another shrimp on the barbie and crank up the heat on Wayne Pearson. Hold on to your stubbies.
Shoot, Rob, you ever seen a hound chase a rabbit? That's Richard Rossier for ya, trying to close in on Wayne Pearson with every twist and turn of Oulton Park.
Wow, Sunoiler is really pushing hard to catch up to Joe Ergu. There's blood in the water for 2nd place.
If Sunoiler gets any closer, they might as well ask Ergu for a piggyback ride.
I swear, Sunoiler's on the prowl, making that leap to 2nd look as easy as a Sunday Arvo barbecue. It's hotter out there than an Aussie summer day, mate. Reckon Wayne Pearson can catch some shade behind Joe Ergu, F.
Shade? Here, we call that drafting. Let's see if they can stay cool and make a move. If not, there's always the AC in the pit.
Bloody oath, Wayne Pearson is flat out like a lizard drinking, gnawing into the gap to Joe Ergu down to a scant 0.4 seconds.
Now this is what I call some high-octane excitement. Both drivers pedal down, looking to grab the brass ring.
Hold that thought. Hold the phone. Bloody hell. Toxoff 22 just took a quick detour to the outback. Maybe they saw a kangaroo on the track or something. This chase is as intense as a cricket match during the Ashes.
Cricket? I thought that was just a noisy bug. But seriously, it's like Game 7 of the World Series here.
It seems like Richard Rossier is on fire. They have just put in their best lap.
Hold the phone. That lap by Richard Rossier was faster than a preacher's sermon when the game's on.
This is going to be a nail-biter. Joe Ergu is defending for their life, but Richard Rossier is right there. Can they do it?
Back in my day, when you had someone on your tail, you'd give them the old razzle-dazzle. Ergu's got that move down pat against Richard Rossier.
It's like watching two predators circling each other, waiting for the perfect moment to pounce. It seems like Richard Rossier has got the bit between their teeth, improving on Joe Ergu's lap time there.
Richard Rossier's driving like they stole something, and that something is Jorgu's dignity. Ouch.
You reckon these drivers do any off-track training? Maybe a bit of kangaroo boxing?
Haha, if they do, sign me up. But I think most stick to wrestling with the steering wheel.
Now isn't this a show? Joe Ergu's gotten the bit between their teeth, and they're reeling in Wayne Pearson. Look at them weave and bob through Island Bend, folks. It's a game of inches now as Richard Rossier tails Joe Ergu closely, ready to capitalize on any mistake.
If Richard Rossier pushes too hard, they might find themselves exploring the scenic route, and nobody's got time for sightseeing during a race.
The best laid plans of mice and men, Rob Hal, but it's certainly not going to plan for Richard Rossier right now as they are struggling to keep up with Joe Ergu. Renault per 99 is giving it their all as they chase down Reinhold Gartner in P9. Renault per 99's been working the tyre temps, and it's paying off. Grip's better than a kangaroo on a trampoline. Watch out, Reinhold Gartner. D-Max has a battle on their hands now as they come through Lodge Corner with Renault per 99 hot on their tail. Struth, D-Max has been left out in the Never Never, with Renault per 99 darting past like a roo in the headlights.
Yep, looks like DMAX missed the hoedown memo, while Renault per 99's dancing right up front. Reminds me of a Carolina blue sky day. Renault per 99's clear and soaring, while DMAX has got some clouds to clear.
Richard Rossier is running 6th. They are trying to catch Joe Ergu.
Will Richard Rossier be able to make a move and pass Jorgu?
As they speed through Shell Oil's corner, Renault per 99 is relentlessly pursuing Reinhold Gartner in a high-stakes battle for position.
If Renault per 99 gets any closer to Reinhold Gartner, they'll need to start sending out wedding invitations.
Alright, lads and ladies, it's crunch time. Joe Ergu is sniffing around Richard Rossier like a dog with a bone. And it looks like they might just take a bite out of 5th. Seems like Renault per 99 is getting in range of Reinhold Gartner. Well, I'd raise a toast to that move. Cheers to Renault per 99 for nabbing 8th. You ever ponder how these drivers manage the heat, especially in that tight cockpit? It's hotter than a ruse pouch in midday sun.
Hey, ruse what? I mean, yeah, it's gotta be like driving in Arizona with the heater on, right?
This is edge of the seat stuff. Reinhold Gartner is relentlessly hunting down Renault per 99. Who'll blink first? I tell you what, Reinhold Gartner has got more problems than a maths book right now. Renault per 99 is leaving them in a cloud of dust. These engines aren't just humming for fun. They're thirstier than an Aussie after a game of cricket in the sun.
Cricket? That's like baseball with longer games, right? Anyway, these engines do have a roar that could rival any muscle car back home.
Richard Rossier is pushing really hard, but as we know, pushing too hard can lead to other mistakes, like locking up the brakes or missing a shift. These drivers are walking a tightrope between pushing the limits and making costly errors.
Absolutely, it's all about finding that sweet spot where you're pushing the car to its limits without crossing the line into reckless driving. That's where experience and skill come into play. With just 0.4 seconds between them, will Richard Rossier be able to keep up the pace and make a pass?
Blimey, Joe Ergu is so far back, they might as well stop for a beer at the pub. If they spot my ex there, tell them to drive faster.
Sweet mercy, Jorgu's lagging like my grandma's old computer. Might be time to reboot, or at least pour some coffee into the gas tank.
The gap between Joe Ergue and Richard Rossier is expanding faster than— Wait, blimey. Chris Duke's just thrown another shrimp on the barbie of mishaps. This one's burnt.
Holy smokes, Chris Duke's serving up some backyard barbecue with that smoke show. Just missing the ribs.
Look at Richard Rossier trying to close that gap on Wayne Pearson. Kind of like me trying to get close to a decent barbie back home.
Barbie? Oh, you mean a barbecue. Yeah, but over here it's like trying to catch the last slice of pizza at a Super Bowl party. It's hotter than a jalapeno out here. If Richard Rossier gets any closer to Wayne Pearson, we're gonna need to put this stream on OnlyFans.
With a move that's swift, I'd say Richard Rossier's running on high octane, and maybe a bit of Aussie spirit. The fans are on the edge of their seats. It doesn't get any closer than this.
It's a battle for position as Wayne Pearson tries to make a move on Richard Rossier. This is what racing is all about.
Wayne Pearson is trying their best, but can't seem to find the pace to keep up with Richard Rossier at the moment. Well, Wayne Pearson's spinning like my life in 2020. Someone get him a map, or a therapist.
Well, butter my biscuit. Wayne Pearson took a trip to the weeds. Must have thought they were at a barn dance the way they spun around.
This is what racing is all about. Two fierce competitors pushing each other to the limit. DMAX is giving it a red-hot go, but can't seem to muster the pace to keep up with Eddie G. It's like chasing a roux on a motorbike. The battle for 8 is heating up as Chris Duke tries to catch Reinhold Gartner in P8.
Sweet tea and biscuits. Chris Duke's got the pedal to the metal, chasing down Reinhold Gartner like it's the last slice of pie at a family reunion.
Crikey, Chris Duke is losing touch with Reinhold Gartner quicker than a kangaroo on a trampoline. The race is heating up as D-Max in 11th closes in on Eddie G. The gap is just over a second, and I'm sure they're going to do everything possible to try and close the distance. They're not giving up without a fight.
It's moments like these that make motorsports so exciting. We're witnessing a battle of skill and strategy between two great drivers, with DMAX in 11th determined to catch up. But we know Eddie G isn't just going to hand it to them on a plate. DMAX is going to have to take it. It should be an interesting battle to watch as long as they can close that gap.
This is where the skill and experience of the drivers really come into play. Toxoff 22 will need to stay focused and keep pushing, even when the gap seems insurmountable. It's not over until the checkered flag drops.
You ever been to a school reunion and
Incident alert. Well, DMAX has decided to give the local wildlife a closer look. I hope the drop bears didn't get to them. By the looks of it, Richard Rossier's got Joe Ergue beat by a country mile. It'd take a blunder from Richard Rossier for our mate to even sniff a chance.
Kinda like waiting on rain during a Carolina summer, rare but not impossible.
Joe Ergue has got their head down now, working those exits and apexes and setting their best lap time so far with a 1 minute.
Y'all see that? Ergue's lap was smoother than my grandpappy's moonshine, and twice as potent.
I've made some questionable life decisions, but trailing over 2 seconds behind? Even I'm not that self-sabotaging. It's a thrilling pursuit as Eddie G is right behind Chris Iljuk, keeping the pressure on for 9th place.
You can feel the intensity in the air. The slightest mistake could cost either of them the race.
A great pass for Eddie G as they pick off other drivers and move up the field. Meanwhile, Chris Iljuk has lost ground.
Well, it's not just about speed, it's about strategy. But right now, Eddie's showing a masterclass in both.
This is what separates the best from the rest. These drivers are demonstrating their racecraft, searching for any weakness to exploit. It's a true test of skill.
You said it, Rob. The different lines they're taking demonstrate their strategic thinking. It's fascinating to see how they adapt their approaches to gain an advantage.
In the midst of this high-octane spectacle, Eddie's skill is shining through as they claim 9th.
Hold on to your hat, Hal.
Chris Iljuk is hot on the heels of Eddie G. The gap's narrowed down to a meager 2.2 seconds.
Eddie G is walking a razor's edge here. They need to keep their wits about them and stave off the relentless pressure from Chris Iljuk.
As the sun beats down and the engines roar, Rob stakes a claim in first.
Definitely Rob, but they can't afford to get complacent. They have to keep pushing hard to stay in the game.
Rob couldn't hold back the tide. Sunoiler is shaving off seconds like a barber on a busy morning.
This is a real test for Rob, always keen. They need to find some extra pace and hold off Sunoiler if they want to win this race.
And it's a checkered flag for Rob, who crosses the finish line with a commanding victory. What a phenomenal performance, absolutely dominant today.
What a display of skill and precision.
Impressive second place finish for Sunoiler. What a race from infinity. They kept their cool and secured a well-earned 3rd place on the podium.
Fantastic result.
Hold up a mo. Oh mate, Eddie's impersonating a lost tourist. Did someone forget to tell them it's a race, not a bushwalk? With Richard Rossier, Joe Yu, Wayne Pearson, and Renopa 99 in 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. 8th sees Reinhold Gartner. Chris Iljuk in 9th. Followed by Eddie G in 10th. Puppy Dog from Hell take 11th. Toxoff 22 claim 12th. Taking 13th is D-Max. Finishing, breaking news folks, D-Max has pulled into the pits.